particular way they receive love.
Yeah.
And so you may love someone a lot, but if you don't understand that person's language, for example, acts of service. So act of service is when you do little things around the house for the person. Yeah. And then we have our first caller. We'll come back.
Okay.
Good morning, Derek from Ashaman.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, I want to address something I'm saying on the show. I think Papa and right, that's the name of the...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think communication is a two-way street, right?
Yes.
The number of times he refers to communication being, it looks like it comes mostly from the woman. And I think it's a two-way street. When he was talking about cheating, I feel, how come the man isn't also understanding the reasons behind why the woman thinks he shouldn't go out, or maybe the problems with the woman, so he also sorts it out. But we are looking at the woman sorting it out and not the man. I think the man also has a role to play. The man who goes out to cheat also has a role to play. It's a two-way street, so we can't push it onto you look at this, the woman should look at this, the woman should look at that. I think since it comes from two people, since there are two people in the relationship, the man also has a role to play. He also has to understand the feelings of the woman. What he saw in this woman long ago before he got into the relationship with this woman. So he should discuss rather than me saying, this woman has a problem and now because of that I am going out. I think it's a two-way street, so that should be addressed.
Okay, thank you for calling in. You see, I give a shout out to people in Asham and they are calling in. Thank you. Keep calling. Okay, so like you were saying about the whole cheating and communication thing, like I feel like usually there's so much pressure on the woman. For example, if a marriage breaks, for example, they usually say, oh, you couldn't keep him well. Oh, you didn't cook properly. Are you sure you did the right styles? Did you do this and that? Why did he go out if you were doing everything? They never really look at the man. But I think we'll have you back so that we address that because our time is fast spent. Okay, so we're talking about the different love languages. Yeah. So, for example, don't you think that you can love someone and they don't know about it because you're not going about it the right way?
You see, the main concept behind Dr. Gary Chapman's, I think now he's a professor, Chapman's book, with his years of counseling, I personally, he's a personal friend. So, you know, when it comes to love, my love language is what I believe in. And I believe that is what everybody who loves me should do.
I'm very glad you've read the book, so we'll go into that a bit more. Let's take Dinah from Koforidua. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for calling in.
Thank you. I actually want to ask a question.
Okay.
What can we do to spice up our relationship?
Okay.
Our communication, especially.
Okay.
Sometimes if you're with your man and then you don't even know what to say, just to...
Thanks for calling. I think it all boils down to the love language that we're about now.
Yes.
So
the love language is very, very important because I love myself the way I want to be loved. You love yourself the way you want to be loved. So eventually, I end up loving myself. You end up loving yourself, and we don't feel loved.
Yeah.
So even though we think we love each other, we are loving ourselves rather than loving each other. So it's very important that we understand the love languages, and then most people have about 2 or 3 of the love languages.
Can we go into so that people don't know?
So the love language, we have the
acts of service.
Let me start with the words of affirmation.
Okay.
Words of affirmation where you constantly have to affirm, constantly have to tell the person how much you love the person, how much you cherish the person, how much you would want the person to be the only woman or the only man in your life. Most men who feel insecure, especially when a woman is so beautiful, and okay.
Good morning, Prince.
Good morning, madam.
Thanks. Yes. Thanks for calling in.
You are welcome.
Okay.
I like your outfit so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, please, I would like to ask a question.
Okay.
My question is, I have a girlfriend, she gives me more attention always. But suddenly, I went and impregnated someone, which I've not even dated for 3 days. And now she's very mad at me. To be very too. She lives very far away from me. Please, I would like to ask my elder brother a guidelines after the war.
But do you love her? The one you were with?
We have been together about 6 years to 7. 2018 December, we have 8 years.
Would you be comfortable telling us why you were with the other person?
Yeah, I told her.
No, will you tell us why? Was there a reason why? Was it something she was not doing, the first one? Why were you with the other person?
What she was doing anything right. We were playing together. Just one day she went out for a party and it happens.
Okay.
But
my
problem is, you see, how can you date somebody for 8 years and not get married if you really love the person? And then we should understand that when you date for long, there's relationship fatigue that sets in. And once relationship fatigue sets in, you start taking each other for granted. And that is one of the reasons why you can do such a thing. The very day you have sex with a woman, your honeymoon starts. Because when you're going through the stages in marriage, that very first time. So if you date for 5 years, already spent that period where you're going to have the fun in a marriage. You've already spent it. And all that's left is facing reality, the state, the freedom states. It's not going to be that interesting even if you get married after 8 years of dating. Because you've already enjoyed the fun part of it. You're going to start facing challenges.
Yeah, so I saw something, you can confirm it for me, that for the first 2 years, it's like a euphoric period.
Yeah.
Then after that, it has to be intentional. So you have to make a decision.
Yeah.
And as someone always says, Mokedi, he always tells me that love is a decision. So you decide that I want to be with this person, whether it is stormy or not.
But a
lot of people confirm that.
It's true.
Yeah.
Love goes through stages. To go through the honeymoon stage, that is the beginning when you have sex and all those things. Depending on the communication and how serious you are with each other, you can go for a maximum of 5 years. You go into the differentiation stage where you start identifying each other as an individual, even though you are together. That is when what you're talking about comes in, when you decide that I want to stay. When you cross that level, you move into the freedom stage where you feel you want to do everything as an individual.
Sorry. Let's take our last caller and then we can... Good morning, Justice.
Good morning, madam.
Thanks for calling in.
Okay. Please, I'm also having a little problem.
Could you please speak up for us?
Yeah.
Okay. Please go ahead.
I'm dating a girl, and we've been dating.
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
I'm dating a girl, and we've been together for almost like 5 years now.
Okay.
But I'm not the type who cheat in a relationship, and I really love her.
Okay.
So I started noticing having conversation with a different person, and she's not someone that
you love
really get or something. I love her very much, and I trust her. So everything that I do, I'm really open and honest.
Okay.
To her. But I noticed having conversation with a particular guy for the past 2 years. Every time I see her, I question her. So I'm a little bit into IT. So I took a phone and take a shot of I scan it on my PC. So every conversation that she does, I see it on my laptop. And this particular guy has been the same guy who has been in my image for a couple of years now. It's been 2 years now.
Okay.
So I approached her and asked her about her, and she'll be like, she's a guy she was dating once ago, but they have nothing, but they've been having a couple of conversations. That knows everything about the girl.
Okay.
So within that instances, I'm a guy. If I go out, I will see a girl that I'll
like
an affair, like having an affair with. So since then, I've become the type of womanizing type. If I see this girl, I don't like the girl, but I feel like doing something to pay her back or something else.
Did you talk to her about it?
I've been talking to her about it for a couple of times.
Okay. And she said there was nothing going on.
She said there's nothing going on.
Okay.
That's what she...
Okay, so
I think we can talk about your issue here. Take my contact and call me. Let's meet in my office and have a chat.
Yeah.
And solve this.
So when the show ends, we'll let you put out your
Okay.
details. Yes.
That's all right. So, like I was saying, when you go through the freedom stage, a time will come when you go to the reconciliation stage, where everything comes back. I will relate it to a child. You have a baby. From birth to about 6, you don't spank. You get angry, you yell and all those things, but you don't spank. From 6 to about 10, she starts feeling, I'm a big girl, you know, and then start misbehaving small, then you start, bashing small. That's the differentiation stage. When she hits 10, 13, she starts menstruating and stuff, she feels she's a big girl, allow her to do whatever. That's the freedom stage.
Yeah.
And then you become so aggressive and trying to check, you mess up your life and blah, blah, blah. But when she hits 18 and you're entering her room, you knock. Why? You start getting respect for your child again. That is how relationships is. If you break the relationship in the differentiation stage, you start another one, go through the honeymoon stage, and go and face the differentiation stage. And you end up breaking up. But when it comes to the love language, which we definitely would have to finish.
Yeah, we have to finish that.
The words of affirmation is very important for people who love to be affirmed. Especially those who feel insecure. Especially, like I said, when the woman is so pretty and a guy feels that it's a privilege to have a woman like that. So the woman would have to constantly affirm her love. And that keeps the man calm. And then we have...
It looks like we'll have to have you back because we have just 1 minute to wrap up. So I'd want you to give out your contact details, social media.
If you would want to get to me, my contact is 0244 66 10 11. 0244 66 10 11. My office is at Atinka Lotto Kiosk Junction, there. Just about 2 buildings from where the taxis park.
Okay.
When you give me a call, we can arrange and then we can meet. We do everything from relationships to sex therapy.
Okay.
Okay,
so we're not able to finish the love language. We'll definitely have him back because it's important. Sometimes you hear people say, I bought her a car, I bought her a house, but she still doesn't feel my love. Maybe that's not how she feels or receives love. So we'll have him back and then we'll delve into that. So we're talking about communication in relationships and we're not able to delve into the intimacy aspect, but I think that we'll have him back. Thank you all for calling in, for sending your messages and watching us on Facebook. We'll take a break now and then link to Social Watch.